Hey everybody, Steve with Green Beetle. I'm going to talk fast at you today. I'm looking at the Anton De Plessis Warthog made by Scorpion Knives out of Britain, Sheffield, the knife capital of Britain. This is a 5-inch blade, 3/16, almost a 1/4 inch thick, 2 1/4 inch wide. You can see how wide it is. It's got a nice tang for a lanyard loop or some lashing. That's a Corby bolt fastener for the linen micarta scales. Those are very tough, very durable. A lashing point at the front and just behind the choil, and you can really choke up on this thing by putting your finger in the choil and your thumb behind the blade. Very ergonomic. That's very comfortable. 1075 carbon steel, not 1095. 5254 HRC. That's a little bit low in a 5-inch survival knife, but we'll talk more about that here in a minute. The sheath is sort of a standard nylon sheath. It does have a plastic insert, which is nice to protect the nylon. Not a lot of fancy stuff going on here, but it's a solid sheath that works just fine. So it's razor sharp. This is not from the factory, obviously. This belongs to a friend of mine who's put the rubberized tape on the handle. The knife weighs just under 15 ounces. This is 3/4 inch manila. It does pretty good here. It's got a nice blade geometry for cutting and slicing. So we're going to do some chopping with it because look, it's a 1075 knife. It's not 1095. It's got slightly lower carbon content than 1095, 0.75% or 0.7 to 0.8%. So it's a little more durable. It's not as hard. It doesn't retain an edge as well as 1095. It's not as resistant, wear resistant, but 1075 is commonly found in swords and things like that. It's still a very high-end steel. It takes a little more dynamic stress, handles that stuff a little better than 1095 without chipping. The trade-off is, especially at this low in HRC, that you're going to be sharpening it more frequently. 52 to 54 is a little bit low. We would normally expect a Rockwell rating of somewhere between 56 to 59 in a 5-inch survival knife. So if you add that all together, a higher weight, wider, low HRC and 1075, clearly the intent was for this to be good for chopping, batoning, prying, that sort of thing. Trade-off is, even though it takes a very sharp edge, 1075 is very easy to sharpen. You will probably be sharpening it more frequently than other high-end knives in this price range. Anton De Plessis is in South Africa. He's an anti-poaching outfit, or used to be, called Silent Heroes. He was in their specialized interdiction unit. He has a very long history with the military. He has a lot of military type credentials. He teaches some survival courses there. He's been doing that for a long time. It's very hard to find a lot of good information about him on the internet, but that's about as much as I could find. He designs other knives too. He Tops makes one of his knives called the Silent Hero, which is shaped very much like the Warthog. You might confuse them. Slightly longer, and it weighs a little bit less. Sheffield, England, where Scorpion is out of, was sort of second in the knife industry in Britain until probably the 1700s. They had some sort of breakthrough with crucible metal and really became more known for knives than London did. They're still known for it. Their football, aka soccer team, is still called the Blades. Used to be the Cutlers. So I'm really putting stress on the tip here. Again, at this HRC with this steel, there really shouldn't be any problems. And as you can see, there aren't. It does just fine. Back to the manila rope. I haven't sharpened it since we started doing things with it. It still does pretty good. It has a notch or two taken out of it. And I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's not going to be shaving hairs here. It'll pop a few of them, but definitely not shaving sharp. That being said, it's not far off. It's probably a good stropping away from being a razor sharp knife again. And the edge is in pristine condition. There's no chipping, no deformations or anything like that. The angle on the grind, or the primary bevel, is a little bit steep, so it wants to sort of dig down into things, wood and other things, but it's still got a lot of good fine work capability. Even though we haven't sharpened it, it still does a reasonable job here. So this is a great solid little knife. It looks a little strange, but man, it's super functional. I love the choil and the grip up on it. You guys should check this knife out. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.